Welcome back to Exposed. So our next subject is kind of a little bit random. I don't know if Taylor was just thinking about female chiefs.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It just like came to my mind. Like, you know, there's never, not it didn't come from like the idea of a female chief, but I was thinking more like president. You know, there's never been a female president.
There's been a female.
There's been candidates like
prime minister for like. It was very short time, and she didn't do anything.
Yeah, you know, and no one ever remembers that. Like, oh yeah, like, you know, remember that? No, it's like, why, you know, in this day and age.
So, curious about this subject, I called the Mohawk Council to get some statistics about, you know, female chiefs, and well, surprise, surprise, there's never been a female Grand Chief in Kahnawake, and the thing that was most shocking to me, that there's only been one female who ran for chief against Joe Norton in 1988.
Yeah, and also the first women chiefs were Mary Scott and Mary Cross in 1964. Like 64, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, and since then that there's been at least one chief on council, and the most being 3, and that's happened like a lot throughout, I guess, since then, and well, now currently we have 3 female chiefs.
Isn't that like the opposite of what's traditionally done? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm not too familiar with, I guess, traditional.
But that's what I was told too. My whole life.
I was told that normally, like traditionally, like the females are like the clan mothers, or there are clan mothers, and they don't.
Like, the chief is supposed to be a man's job. I don't like the way that sounds, but I mean...
They, like, choose the chiefs.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it would be not understandable still, but, like, I guess a reason why there hasn't been so many in Mohawk Council, but at the same time, Mohawk Council system is, like...
The Canadian system.
Canadian. Basically Canadian system. So that makes me, like, question, like, why hasn't there been so many female chiefs? And, like, we definitely have a lot of, I guess, strong leader.
Yeah, there's plenty of strong
women.
Female leaders, but I think anyone actually want to be Grand Chief, because there's a lot of...
there's a lot of, like, stigma that comes with that.
Scrutiny.
Yeah.
And I know it's, like... I guess I'll ask the question, like, do you think in this day and age that the sexes are equal? From, I guess, a perspective of a woman and,
go first?
No, and a man.
I don't want to go first.
Okay. It is, to some extent, and it's not still. Because, I mean, I don't know, you look at it, you look at police forces, you look at, you know, things like that used to be just male-dominated, and now it's about 50-50.
But there's still, like, that stigma towards, like,
yeah, exactly.
women police officers and women who are in the military, and you get that, like, you know, like, masculine, like,
or
stereotype.
Like the older people will kind of, like, you know, they're more, like, caught up in their old ways, I guess, you know, they're not as open to it. But, I don't know, when it comes to, like, bigger things, you know, like what we're talking about, like the president, for example, or something like that. Like, there's never been, so it makes you. I guess that proves a point that no, it's not. Or I don't know if there's just not enough people that like want to do this. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could find some woman who would be like, yeah, I want to be president, you know. But I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, but I don't know why, like, they're not, you know.
I think, like, the biggest issues I have of, like, this, like, sexism is when you have the same position, like, that a female has and that a male has, that sometimes a male gets paid more, which, like, I don't agree with, but
I still think that's, like, the case
really?
With some things.
Yeah, and you see it a lot in, like, you know, these big corporations, like, business people, and there's still, like, you get the idea that, like, that females, like, if they're a good leader, strong leader, whatever, that they're perceived as, like, being a bitch. But when you do it...
But if it's a man,
it's totally different. And I find... and I don't know why it's like that. And it's even thought, it's not just like that's a male's perspective, but also like a female's perspective at a female boss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think definitely in the media industry too, like women aren't as equal. Like you don't see like, well, obviously you see like female anchors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's that as equal.
I think it all goes back to just what exactly like females are. Never mind. Never mind. I lost myself.
I don't know. It's you know, I hate to say it, but like it's a man's world. You know, like everyone still thinks of it that way, even though like we're trying real hard to change it. It's like.
Well, it's really crazy.
I'd like to think of myself as a feminist, but I don't know if I meet the criteria. But like.
Well, there's different types of feminists. Like, you know, there's the stereotypical like people think of where they're like burning their bras and like.
Yeah.
Where they're like totally like what you like the stereotypical feminist, but there's ranges that, you know, you can like strive to be equal but not be a feminist. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like I think I stand somewhere between there. But I don't know. What do you think? I know Chief Gus Guy Deer that she was talking to a bunch of us before, saying that was her goal was to be the first female Grand Chief.
It would be pretty interesting to see in the future if she decides to run and if she gets elected. Like, not, I don't know if, like, whether or not people agree specifically with her and, like, want to vote for her, but just the women in general. Like, I'd love to see
it'd be a
woman
nice to see that.
just run, like.
Yeah, like I know it doesn't you know, women aren't supposed to be the Grand Chief. They're not supposed to be chiefs. It's like, well, okay, well that the council isn't really a traditional system anyway, so we might as well just give it a shot, right? Like, if it's already if it's already basically a like under I don't know how you would say it. It's a Canadian institution pretty much, so why not?
Mm-hmm.
What I was trying to say before was that women probably don't have the same equality, equal. What's the word here? Help me.
Just equality.
Yeah, women don't have the same equalities because they're still objectified by men in the same way that how Sarah Palin was supposed to be was a presidential candidate, but since she lost, I mean, like, there's all kinds of things on the internet with like bikini bodies with her face pasted on it.
And that's, like, what I was saying about how it, when I said like how like a strong leader or something, you get that perception of being a bitch, and then the other one is like you're like a flake or like you get objectified.
Yeah.
But I find, like, you know, it's like women a lot of the time today like make it okay to be objectified, you know. Like, they objectify themselves almost just to get just to get publicity.
Attention, yeah.
And it's like,
yeah.
So it's like you can't, you know, it's like, oh, well, we're kind of blaming ourselves.
Yeah, it's kind of like uncomfortable when you like know people who, I guess, use their bodies to get, I guess, what they want. Or like, you know, want something, like, get a little bit of cleavage, like unbutton one button, you know.
Gold digging.
That's totally different.
How about like they're showing that now?
But yeah, like, you know, like, I think one of the example is like if you get caught speeding and you're gonna get a ticket, but then you kind of flirt with the officer and you're gonna ease your way out of that one. And there's like all different. Well, it doesn't work all the time, and not that I know because I don't drive. But
I did that once.
You always see like examples like kind of like that, where I guess it's not just women using their bodies to get what they want, but also to like get a like higher rank or.
Yeah. Like, no, I know what you mean. It'd just be nice to say, like, you know, someone use their brain instead of their body to.
But also, like, that's, I think,
be.
like, men also, like, sometimes take advantage of that too. And definitely what you were saying about like men being like, I think men can be definitely like objectified as well, and I don't know, like Chippendales shows and like stuff like that.
Gross.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that.
And that's all the time we have for this week's show. I know it was a bit random, but I hope the viewers enjoyed it. If you have any feedback, you can email us at mohawktv@hotmail.com, or you can give us a call at 450-632-6397. See you again in 2 weeks' time. Anna.
Anna.
Anna.